Imagine for a second, right, that you are running a highly successful, just deeply experienced business. Let's say you've been at it for 15, maybe 20 years.
Yeah, a really solid track record.
Exactly. You've got a 95% client retention rate. You have the actual plaques on your wall representing decades of hard-earned expertise. And, your reputation in the local community is just absolutely rock solid.
You're doing everything right in the physical world.
Right. You are, by all traditional metrics, at the top of your game. But then you lose out on a massive new client. And you don't just lose out to anyone. You lose out to this brand new, far less experienced competitor who, I don't know, maybe they opened their doors like 3 years ago.
Right, the new kids on the block.
Exactly.
Right.
They have half your team, significantly less expertise, and honestly, they might even be serving clients that you would normally just turn away. Yet, when prospective clients go looking for services online, that new competitor is the one they find.
It's an incredibly frustrating scenario.
It really is, and it's shockingly common. So, welcome to today's Deep Dive. We're talking directly to you, the professional trying to navigate this bizarre landscape, and we're looking at this fascinating article by Mike DeRavel from MITco Digital. It's titled, Why Your CPA Firm Ranks Below Competitors on Google.
Which is a dynamic that drives highly qualified professionals absolutely crazy. You put in all those years, you build the expertise, and yet the digital landscape just seems to disproportionately reward the shiny new firm.
Yeah, and the mission of this deep dive is to figure out exactly why. We're going to unpack why digital visibility rarely correlates with actual professional merit, and how this disconnect is silently costing professional service firms. I mean, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's a massive blind spot for a lot of established firms.
Okay, let's unpack this. How can a supposedly smart algorithm like Google get it so incredibly wrong? Like, how does a machine designed to organize the world's information completely miss 2 decades of offline excellence?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the algorithm isn't actually getting it wrong. I mean, not based on the rules it operates under.
Really, because it feels wrong.
It feels wrong to us, yeah. But Google doesn't evaluate a firm's offline reputation. It can't see the mahogany desk in your office. It can't, read the framed certifications on your wall. And it definitely doesn't attend local Chamber of Commerce meetings to hear the glowing things people say about you.
It's totally blind to the physical world.
Completely. It only evaluates digital signals. So that competitor isn't ranking above you because they're better at their job or even because they have better business acumen. They are just better at structuring the specific data points that the algorithm has been programmed to crave.
Wow. Okay, that is such a crucial distinction. It's not a meritocracy of skill at all, is it? It's a meritocracy of signals.
Exactly. It's all about the signals.
So before we get into the technical weeds of how Google actually builds those signals, we really need to move from the sort of philosophical unfairness of this whole situation to the cold, hard financial reality.
Because it's not just an ego bruise.
Right. It's not just getting annoyed when you Google your own name and don't see it. This is actively hemorrhaging revenue.
The math behind that revenue loss is honestly staggering once you break down the economics of search, which the article outlines really well. So in a mid-sized U.S. city, a phrase like, say, CPA firm followed by the city name, that doesn't just get a trickle of traffic.
No.
No, it generates hundreds, sometimes several thousand searches every single month. And we are not talking about a casual browser's looking up trivia here.
Right. People aren't just reading up on tax law for fun.
Exactly. These are highly qualified leads at the exact moment of intent. I mean, this is the established business owner whose previous accountant just retired, or a founder whose business just hit a growth spurt and they need sophisticated tax planning today.
Right. These are people with an immediate pain point and, an open wallet.
Yeah. And when they run that search, the top 3 organic results capture roughly 50 to 60% of all the clicks.
50 to 60%, just the top 3.
Just the top 3. And position 1 alone grabs somewhere between 25 and 30% of that total traffic.
So if you aren't in those top 3 spots, you're just fighting for the scraps left at the bottom of the page.
If you even make it to the bottom of the page, the drop-off is practically a cliff. If you're sitting at position 8 or 12 or anywhere on page 2, you are effectively invisible.
Invisible?
Yeah, because the first page captures over 90% of all clicks. You simply do not exist to the vast majority of people running that search. You aren't even a blip on their radar.
Man, let's make this relatable for a second. It's kind of like running a Michelin star restaurant, right? But you're hiding it in an underground bunker with absolutely no signs. Meanwhile, the mediocre diner down the street has this giant flashing neon arrow pointing right at their front door.
That's a perfect analogy.
Like, the food in the bunker is incredible, the service is flawless, but nobody knows it's even there.
And when you apply the actual economics of a professional firm to that bunker scenario, the numbers get scary fast. A typical new CPA client brings in somewhere between $8,000 and $15,000 per year in recurring fees.
Okay, wow.
Right. So if you are invisible on page 2 and you miss just 2 to 4 of these qualified inquiries a month, you are looking at $200,000 to $700,000 in lost annual revenue.
Up to $700,000 a year, just because your digital neon sign is unplugged.
Yeah. And think about the timeline of that loss. That revenue is recurring. Over 3 to 5 years, that invisibility compounds into something genuinely devastating for the valuation of the business.
It's just compounding silently in the background.
Exactly. This isn't about getting vanity clicks or wanting to see your name in lights. It's a compounding revenue problem. The firms ranking above you are having the consultations that you aren't having. They are closing massive deals that should have rightfully been yours.
So if the financial bleeding is this severe, right? And these are highly successful firms with huge budgets. I mean, they often just spent 20 or 30 grand on a gorgeous new website. So why is the algorithm still ignoring them? Where is the disconnect between looking incredibly professional online and actually ranking?
So this is what the source material calls the cosmetic trap. The website was built for aesthetics, not to rank.
Okay, the cosmetic trap.
Yeah, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what a website is actually supposed to do in the modern digital ecosystem.
Boy, I want to push back on this a bit on behalf of you listening. Because if I paid a premium web designer to make my firm look incredibly polished, shouldn't that be enough? I mean, clients want to see a sophisticated, trustworthy brand.
Yeah.
Why should I have to butcher a sleek, minimalist design with all this clunky SEO architecture?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you have to remember who the first visitor to your website actually is.
Okay, who is it?
It's not the prospective client. It's Google's algorithm.
Ah, the robot.
Right. And Google cannot see a beautiful design. It has absolutely no capacity to appreciate your minimalist color palette or your clever use of white space or those high-resolution team photos you paid a photographer for.
So it's literally just looking at code.
It reads data architecture. If a client already knows your name and types in your exact URL, sure, the beautiful brochure site reassures them, but it gives Google absolutely nothing to evaluate to help a new client find you in the first place.
So a 5-page brochure site is basically just a very expensive digital business card.
That's really all it is. Typically, these sites completely lack keyword-targeted page structure. Instead of using the specific granular terms clients actually type into a search bar like tax preparation for medical practices, they use generic catch-all headers like our services.
Oh, I see that all the time. Our services are what we do.
Exactly. They might have one super thin page that lists everything from basic bookkeeping to M&A advisory without any real depth. Plus, they often have slow load speeds because of all those heavy, beautiful images, poor heading hierarchies, and absolutely no schema markup.
Schema markup. Okay, let's clarify that, because it sounds like highly technical jargon. What is schema actually doing under the hood?
Think of schema as a universal translator. Google's algorithm reads raw code, right? It doesn't read English the way we do.
Right.
So without schema, it sees a string of numbers on your contact page, and it just has to guess. Is it a phone number, a tax ID, a business license, a zip code?
It's just guessing based on context.
Exactly. But schema adds this hidden layer of code that explicitly tells the algorithm, hey, this 10-digit number is specifically the phone number to book a consultation with an accounting firm, and this address is our physical headquarters.
Okay, so without the translator, the algorithm is just guessing. And I imagine an algorithm that has to guess is an algorithm that loses confidence in your site pretty quickly.
Guessing is the absolute enemy of ranking. Which actually brings up the second major structural flaw for these firms, which is the local ghost town.
The local ghost town.
Yeah. If you are a local service provider, local SEO is your primary battleground. And the foundation of this is the Google Business Profile, or GBP. A neglected GBP is a massive red flag.
What does a neglected one look like to Google?
Well, if you have no reviews, sparse descriptions, and no recent posts or updates, Google interprets that as a low engagement, low credibility business.
Wow. So it looks like the lights are on, but nobody's home. You might literally be the busiest firm in town, but to the machine, you look closed.
Exactly. And then you compound that with the issue of NAP consistency.
NAP.
NMEP.
Right. That stands for name, address, and phone number. These details need to match perfectly, down to the letter, across every single directory on the internet.
See, I've always wondered about this. Why is Google so obsessed with the address matching everywhere? Like, if my suite number is formatted STIN on Yelp, but suite on my website, does it really care? It cares immensely. Because, again, it's about data confidence. Imagine a firm moved offices 3 years ago. They updated their main website, but they forgot to update their listing with the local chamber of commerce.
Oh, or like a legacy directory site they haven't logged into since 2018.
Yes. Now Google's algorithm is scraping the web and sees conflicting data. It thinks, wait, is this business on Main Street or Elm Street? Is it Suite 200 or Floor 2? And when Google's confidence in your physical reality drops, your ranking drops instantly. It simply refuses to risk sending a searcher to the wrong address.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like doing a background check on someone and finding 3 completely different home addresses. You immediately get suspicious.
You do.
And the source also mentions the importance of local citations and geo-content, like actually mentioning the city you serve on your own website.
Right. If your website never explicitly mentions your city or metro area in the text, you are forcing Google to work incredibly hard to connect your site to a local search query. You need location-specific service pages to signal geographic relevance.
Okay, so let's say both the established firm and the aggressive new competitor realize all this. They both fix their foundations. They both have perfect schema, matching addresses everywhere, and highly optimized Google business profiles.
A level playing field, essentially.
Right. How does the new kid actually pull ahead and claim page 1? Like, what fuels the climb past all that foundational stuff?
That climb is fueled by 2 critical engines: publishing content and earning backlinks. And this is where the new, hungry competitor almost always outpaces the comfortable, established firm.
Okay, let's start with content.
So search engines do not rank websites as a single entity. They rank individual pages.
Oh, that's a huge shift in perspective.
Yeah.
They rank pages, not domains.
Yes. So imagine your new competitor has been publishing 2 to 4 deep dive blog posts or resources every single month for 2 years. They now have 50 to 100 indexed pages floating out there in the Google ecosystem. Each one of those pages is a new net cast into the water. It's a new entry point for a searcher. And each one mathematically signals to Google that this firm has vast topical authority in accounting.
Okay, but wait. Do clients actually want to read 50 different blogs about tax compliance? Or are we just feeding the Google machine here? Because it feels a bit like writing essays for a robot teacher just to get a passing grade.
That is the single most common objection from professionals, and it's completely understandable to feel that way. But the reality is, it serves a highly effective dual purpose.
Dual purpose.
Yeah. Yes, you are feeding the algorithm the structural signals it needs to understand your expertise, but you are simultaneously creating a vital psychological trust signal for the human reader.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying a 2,000-word post on R&D tax credits isn't just to trick Google into indexing the page. It's basically a proxy for the consultation they haven't had yet.
Exactly. Think about the psychology of that highly qualified lead. A skeptical, wealthy business owner lands on your site after searching for a solution to a complex multi-state tax problem.
They're stressed out. They need a real expert.
Right. And they aren't going to just look at a pretty minimalist homepage and instantly pick up the phone to hand over their company's financials. They want hard evidence that you understand their specific pain point.
Right.
So when they read a genuinely useful, highly detailed guide about their exact situation, that document is what converts them from a casual browser into a booked appointment. The content proves the expertise that your offline reputation used to handle.
The content is the bridge. It satisfies the robot teacher giving you a grade, and it convinces the human being that you are actually a master of your craft.
Precisely. And the second engine fueling that climb is backlinks, which the author notes is the single most misunderstood ranking gap. This is the ultimate currency of trust for the algorithm.
Backlinks, so that's other sites linking to yours.
Right. Domain authority relies heavily on credible external websites linking back to your site.
These act as votes of confidence in the eyes of Google. So how does a firm actually get those votes?
Well, if a state CPA society or the AICPA or maybe a respected local business journal or even partner software platforms like payroll providers, if they link to your site, Google's algorithm sees that as a massive, verified endorsement.
Oh, because those are highly trusted domains already.
Yes. A newer firm with a deliberate, aggressive strategy to earn these links through digital PR will easily outrank a 20-year-old firm that has zero intentional link building. even if the older firm is universally respected in the physical world.
Because Google can't see the real-world respect. It only sees the links.
Exactly. Earning these backlinks requires deliberate outreach. They do not just happen by accident.
Okay, that makes sense for traditional search. But look, we live in a completely different world right now. With the explosive rise of AI tools, isn't traditional Google search kind of dying anyway?
A lot of people are asking that.
I mean, why bother fixing all this old-school SEO architecture, building links, and writing articles if everyone is just going to ask ChatGPT or Claude to find them a service provider?
It is a very logical question to ask right now, given the headlines, but skipping traditional SEO because of AI is actually a fatal flaw in a firm's digital strategy.
Really? Oh.
Because where do you think those AI tools are getting the information to formulate their answers?
I mean, they have to read the internet.
Exactly. Tools like Google's AI overviews, ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, they don't just invent knowledge out of thin air. They are constantly pulling their responses from the exact same pool of authoritative, well-structured, content-rich websites that win at traditional SEO.
Oh, wow.
Fixing your traditional SEO is the absolute prerequisite for showing up in AI search.
Yeah.
You cannot bypass the foundation.
This is not a shortcut.
Not at all. If you are invisible in traditional search, if you have no schema, no content, and conflicting data, you will be entirely left out of the AI summaries that your prospective clients are increasingly relying on.
So AI isn't replacing the need for good site architecture or deep content. It's just a new, highly efficient librarian pulling books from the exact same well-organized shelves. If your book isn't on the shelf to begin with, the librarian can't recommend it.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. And this actually brings up another major pitfall mentioned in the article. It explains why so many previous marketing efforts likely failed for these established firms who actually did try to fix this.
Okay, what's the pitfall?
It's the generalist agency problem.
So what does this all mean? Like, if I have the budget and I hire a top-tier generalist marketing agency, the massive firm downtown that does slick campaigns for national restaurant chains or big fitness brands, surely they can just learn my specific professional niche on the job, right? I mean, at the end of the day, marketing is marketing.
This raises an important question about the fundamental difference between selling a simple consumer product and selling highly specialized, invisible expertise.
Invisible expertise, I like that.
Right, because you can't hold tax planning in your hand. And a firm paying a high monthly retainer should absolutely never be funding a marketing agency's learning curve.
It's kind of like hiring a brilliant commercial director who usually films fast food ads to direct a medical documentary. Like, the camera work will be beautiful, the lighting will be cinematic, but they won't have any idea which parts of the surgery actually matter to the doctors watching.
That analogy hits the nail on the head. Generalist agencies simply don't know the specific client acquisition psychology of a complex niche like accounting or law.
Right.
They don't know the exact nuanced objections a high net worth individual has before changing accounts, and they certainly don't know the hyper-specific long-tail search terms those clients use.
So they're optimizing for the wrong things.
Completely. The trust signals required to convert someone looking for complex trust and estate planning are fundamentally different from the signals used to sell a gym membership. Generic marketing principles applied to a specialized niche will generate vanity traffic, maybe even some empty clicks, but it absolutely won't generate qualified, high-value clients.
Okay, let's put all this theory to the test. Because the author provides a case study of a firm in Dallas. And I want to look at this not just as a data point, but to see what the actual transformation looks like for a business stuck in that bunker we talked about.
The Dallas case study is the ultimate proof of concept for everything we discussed today. We're looking at a 12-staff firm generating $2 million in annual revenue.
Very healthy firm.
Very healthy. They had a phenomenal local reputation, but they were entirely invisible on Google. Page 2 or worse for every relevant term. They relied 100% on word-of-mouth referrals.
Which is great until it dries up or, until a new competitor starts intercepting all the people moving to the city who don't have a referral network yet.
Exactly. So they changed their approach. They didn't just hire a designer to make the homepage prettier. They meticulously rebuilt the entire site structure from the ground up to target specific high-intent keywords.
They laid the foundation.
They did. They optimized that Google business profile so it was no longer a ghost town. They cleaned up every NetP inconsistency across the web. And they started publishing consistent, highly technical, niche-specific content to build those page counts and establish deep trust signals.
What was the timeline on the results? Because When firms invest in this, they want to know how long they have to wait before the phone rings.
Well, within 6 months, they went from completely invisible to ranking organically for high-value phrases like best CPA firm in Dallas-Fort Worth and tax planning services for high-net-worth individuals.
Wow. Just 6 months.
Yeah. And more importantly, they turned inbound search into a reliable, predictable pipeline for massive new business in just 90 to 120 days.
That is an incredible turnaround. And honestly, it perfectly encapsulates the core takeaway for you as you listen to this deep dive. Digital invisibility is a structural problem. It is highly fixable.
Yes.
It is not a reflection of your professional worth, your years of experience, or the quality of your work. By deliberately addressing your website's SEO architecture with tools like schema, cleaning up your local digital footprint, building real content depth that speaks to the client's psychology, earning backlink authority, and, preparing your site to be read by both traditional algorithms and new AI search tools, you can plug that massive revenue drain in a matter of months.
It is entirely within your control to fix. But observing this shift does leave us with a broader, somewhat unsettling thought to consider as the digital landscape continues to evolve.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if search algorithms and AI overviews now essentially dictate who wins the most valuable clients in highly skilled, heavily regulated professions, are we rapidly moving toward a future where digital marketing proficiency completely overrides technical expertise in every single local service industry? And if so, what does that mean for the ultimate quality of the services we all rely on?
Wow, that is a profound question. And it's one that affects every single one of us navigating the modern economy. It really brings us right back to the beginning. We just have to make sure that the Michelin star restaurant finally gets the neon sign it deserves so we aren't all stuck eating at the mediocre diner. Thank you so much for joining us as we unpacked all of this today. We hope it gave you the exact blueprint you need to build that sign and get out of the bunker.